Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Can you hear me? Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Can you hear my voice?
Yes, Miss. Suaranya agak kedengeran ya.
Okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the second International Conference on Mathematics and Mathematics Education, parallel class ICT in Mathematics Education. We really apologize for the delay. Before we start, can everyone hear my voice well? Okay, I already know. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Maya Serang, and I will be moderating this parallel room. Before we start to the first presenters, there are some rules that participants should know. Make sure that your internet connection is stable. Participants are expected to activate the camera and mute the microphone during the conference unless the participant is in a state of speaking. To get more focused sound, it is better for you to use a headset. Each presentation should not exceed 10 minutes. During your presentation, the host will give you a timekeeping signal twice. First, when you have 2 minutes left for your presentation, and second, when your time is up. Every participant can be submitted the question via Zoom chat during presentation session. And the moderator will be choose the question for every presenter. If there is still more time for discussion, participants are welcome to ask directly use raise hand feature. Participants do not interrupt the oral presenter. A question and answer session will be given after the presentation is finished, except the moderator allow it. All presenters are required to remain the seminar Zoom room throughout the whole session. The e-certificate for presenters will be awarded to presenters who have fully participated in the Zoom conference. And the last one, participants are expected not to enter or leave the room meeting. Contact the host if needed. Ladies and gentlemen, for the documentation, we are going to have photo session. Maybe you have to turn on your camera. Mrs. Sri, Mr. Andy, Miss Siti, Miss Susana, and Miss Aprianti, can you turn on your camera, please? Okay, I will count until 3 and take the screen. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay. And once again, 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, in this room we have 11 presenters. So the presentation session will be divided into 4 sessions, where the first, the second, and the third session will feature 3 presenters, and the last session will feature 2 presenters. Without any further ado, let's hear the first presenter from the first presentation session with the title Indonesian Junior High School Students Metacognition Hybrid Learning Analysis by Andi Muhammad Irfan Taufan Asfar, Andi Trisnowali, Jarnawani Afgani Dahlan, Supiani Prabawanto, Andi Muhammad Iqbal Akbar Asfar, and Andi Nuranisa from Universitas Muhammadiyah Bone. Is the first presenter already in this room?
Okay.
Okay, your time to present is 10 minutes. Time is yours.
Okay, thank you very much. Give me opportunity to present my paper. I'm share screen now. Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I will present my paper entitled Hybrid Learning, Analysis of Indonesian Junior High School Student Metacognition. Metacognition skills include student ability to review and monitoring the solution process in problem solving. And so this ability play an essential role in supporting student success in solving problems. Through metacognition ability, students can more easily understand the material along less long time.
I'm sorry, sir.
This is because
PPT is not sharing well. I don't see your PPT.
Sir, your screen is not visible yet. We can't see your share screen.
Maybe the problem is about the connection, so it's okay.
yeah. Okay, you
Okay.
can see my presenter.
Yes, I think it's right now. We can see your presentation. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm continuing my present. This is because metacognition ability significantly affects students' communication, attention, and memory in understanding the materials. The importance of the ability to make cognition is not in line with the fact on the ground. The phenomenon that occurs earlier in school indicates the weak metacognition ability of students. This can be seen from the result on PISA, a student in 2018, where Indonesian students in the field of mathematics studies were ranked 67th out of 74 countries with a score for 3079. Meanwhile, student ability to solve hard questions require metacognition skills, namely the ability student plan, monitor, and evaluate problem, the question to find a solution of the causes of student low metacognition ability is learning process in school that still tend to memorize, so that when the students are faced with host-based question, they will have difficulty in understanding the problem. Therefore, it's imperative to pay attention to accuracy of learning models that can train student recognition ability. The lab heuristic learning model is one of the problem-solving models arranged from a systematic stage, starting from understanding activities to obtaining problem-solving solution. The lab's heuristic learning model facilitates students to solve non-routine problems by divining a problem that is not yet known how to solve. Then the evaluation stage is a carryover in search of why, find out the key to solving the problem. Lab's heuristic is problem solving learning models that it can arise student curiosity, motivation, and activity. Effort increase student activity need to outline subject matter with local wisdom, impacting students' knowledge in recognizing local culture wisdom. Effort to in terms of learning mathematics, local wisdom is useful for making learning more interesting and supporting thinking, communication, and collaboration skills. And this qualitative research with the experimental type, intake group comparison type, the research subject we are student of class 9F at SMP Negeri 1 Kahu, totaling 30 students who were divided into two groups. Shift A using online learning and Shift B using face-to-face learning or offline. The two groups, each consisting of 15 students, were researched using the same learning model, namely the lab heuristic learning model with local wisdom. Subject taking is based on the purposive sampling technique, which based on specific consideration and our goals, and on certain characteristic, purposely non-characteristic. The data collection technique was a test of the two group learning outcomes to determine the differences in students' metacognitive ability given online and offline learning. The research instrument used in this study are observation, interview, and written tests and documentation. Especially for written test is metacognition ability test for 5 essay question based on the metacognition ability indicators. The data analysis technique used in the form of descriptive statistic to describe the metacognition ability students in teaching testing class. The syntax of the lab's heuristic learning model based on local wisdom consists of 5 steps. And step 1, understanding the problem. Understanding the problem step is a step that helps students to explore problem situation, select facts, determine relationship between facts and formulate problem question. This is stage in Bugis, also known as the MAPIS 7 stage. And devising a plan activities that question how to solve problems and draw known relationship from a problem, where students are required to consider the problem and must come up with a solution plan. This is stage in Bugis, also known as Marola stage. And next steps, carrying out of the plan. This is activity is carrying out the strategies they have been prepared at the stage of learning problem solving, where students apply the plans they have been prepared by paying attention to step by step. This stage is also often carried out by the Bugis community in solving problem known as Mapisi Turu. And next step, a tournament. Tournament is the learning process activity that can attract interest and foster students' motivation to be more activity in teaching and learning activities. And tournament in Bugis are known as Machule. And looking back, and it's very important step in labs learning, where students review the steps that have been taken. This step is very synonymous with the term pasalolongan. The differences in student learning outcomes who are given direct learning with learning through Zoom meeting. This can be seen from comparing the average metacognitive ability of student in shift A and shift B learning using the Mann-Whitney test. And based on the result, hypothesis null was rejected, meaning are the significant differences between students who are given offline and online learning. From the output, the hypothesis test result, it can be concluded that the application of the offline labs heuristic learning model on shift B has more significant influence on student metacognitive ability than on shift A, which applies the online local wisdom labs heuristic learning model. The increase that occurred in shift A and shift B can be seen from the comparison, the GAN score test. And from the graph, it can be seen that there is comparison. Okay.
Your time is 2 minutes left.
Okay. It can be seen the trace comparison of the increase in student learning outcomes for given online learning shift A with student who were given offline learning shift B. In shift A, there was this increase student pretest and poster result by 44.99 or 75%, while shift B there was increase 66.67 or 80%. The learning outcome of the two groups of students increased from the pretest and of the post-test result, but the increased student who given offline learning shift B was much more significant. This is because offline learning can harm student metacognitive skill in solving mathematics problem faster than online learning. Although both groups were given the labs heuristic learning model with local wisdom, face-to-face learning was much more activities. Alhamdulillah, that's the material I had to share with you. Thank you for your attention. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. It's very interesting. Now we already had listened the first presenter's topic. Next, let's hear the second presenter with the title "Inherit." Three software from Sri Wahyuni, Wilmin C. Mataheru, and CHM Aminam from Universitas Patimura. Is the third presenter already in this room? Okay. Miss Sri, can you hear my voice? I'm sorry, I can't hear your voice.
Unmute, unmute.
We keep can't hear your voice, Mrs. 3. Okay, Mrs. 3, maybe you got a problem. You have to change your device or something so we can hear your voice. But we have we need extra time, so we have to go next to the fourth presenter with the title Hybrid Learning, the Effect on Students' Achievement in Numerical Method course by Dharma Andreas Nilawajan, Federico Pitsalit Sabandar, Taufan Talib, and Peter Sakarias Tupamahu from Universitas Patimura. Your
Okay.
time to present is 10 minutes. Time is yours.
Okay, thank you, moderator, for the opportunity. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, the title of our paper that we present in this conference is Hybrid Learning, the Effect on Students' Achievement in Numerical Method course. This is a collaborative research that we conducted on a semester, the last semester, and this research, based on our experience in teaching numerical methods in mathematics education departments for years. Based on our experience, we have seen that many college students struggle to pass this subject because numerical methods requires a basic concept, especially in calculus. So when students, college students, uh, don't have good skills in basic concept, let's say calculus, so they will struggle to pass this subject. And that is why we try to find the best way to teach this subject, numerical method, in order to pass many students as many as possible. And also, based on uh, we say situation that we faced post the pandemic COVID-19, that the learning method has been changed, has been transferred from physical class to online class. So we try to manage by combining physical class and online class. And we want to see the effect of this method in improving students' results in numerical methods. That is the background of our research, and that is we try to see the effect of hybrid learning in improving students' results, student achievement in numerical method subject. So there are two samples in this class. that we conducted in different methods. The first one is using classical method, and the other class using hybrid learning. And we try to see the difference. Based on background, so the goal of our research is we want to find out the impact of hybrid learning for the result, for the achievement of students in numerical method class. There are some theories that we use to strengthen our hypothesis. For instance, some previous research from Gerson and Fagan, and also Picciano, as well as Firdausi and Hodge and all, they discuss about hybrid learning. And then the research from Almar Suki and Biggs and Tang, as well as Fakri and RCB and Arsini, they are trying to see the outcome of students learning from by implementing hybrid learning. And also the research from Purnawati and Arawati, Aditya and Hakim et al., and also Chapra and Canelo, that they're trying to see, they try to discuss more about numerical method in teaching and higher education. So based on background and the goal of our research, the method of this is like quantitative research that using quasi-experiment with non-equivalent comparison group design. So we use pretest and post-test based on, we use Sugiyama, the method that we took from Sugiyama book, and we divide our samples into groups. The first group using hybrid learning method, and other group conducted with conventional method. And the population of this research is the students, college students at Mathematics Education Department in Patimura University. So now we move to the result of this research. We've seen that based on pretest for experiment and control class, we've seen that for pretest, both groups show the same result, but they have significantly different in post-test. So we see that the average pretest score for students in experiment class is 67.57. It's for pretest for the experiment, and also the same as control group. They're only different in the digit. So we conclude, from this result, we can see that basically both groups have the same quality, have the same qualification. They have the same quality precondition. So after conducted in different method, they show that it can be shown that the experiment group have gained more, or we can say have a better result compared to the other group. Okay, as we can see on the table, that the four groups of data have a significance value of more than 0.05, so that the data is normally distributed after the tested data is normally distributed. And the table for pre-test and post-test homogeneity sig values, we can see that the significant value of both classes. We see that for pretest data, we have 0.853, and post-test, we have 0.991. It's more than 0.05. So we can conclude that both classes can be expressed homogeneity. And for the result of the learning method that used in different
Sir, excuse me, just to remind you that your time is 2 minutes left.
okay, thank you, moderator. So we can see that from t-test, we can see that experiment class have we can conclude that there is a significant difference between the learning outcomes of students who use experiment class and control class. So for end-gain test, so we can conclude, based on result, we can draw conclusion that student learning outcomes in numerical method course, which taught by using hybrid learning method, have increased as evidenced by the average score. So we can conclude that hybrid learning is better compared to control group. Okay, thank you very much, moderator. I'll leave it back to moderator. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Sir Dharma. Your presentation is very interesting and meaningful. Now we back to the third presenter with the title Development of Learning Media for Algebraic from Application Using Construct Tree Software by Sri Wahyuni, Wilmince Matoheru, and CH M. La Amena from Universitas Batimura. Mrs. Sri, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Your time to present is 10 minutes. Time is yours.
Oke, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity that given to me. My name is Sri Wahyuni. I am from Mathematics Education Study Program at Batimura University, and I'm going to present my research under the title, The Development of Android-Based Algebraic from Application Learning Using Construct Tree. Mathematics is one of the most important subjects studied at all levels of education. However, in reality, math lessons are often considered difficult and less interesting for students. Based on interview conducted at SMP Negeri 7 Ambon and supported by student test results, it is found that students still have difficulty in understanding algebraic from material. The majority of students have not been able to solve algebraic from problems, especially in the elements of algebraic from addition and subtraction of algebraic forms. The media used is also still massive and adequate in the learning process for the reason.
Udah Ibu Sri aja, abis itu aku.
For this reason, there is a need for learning media that can help students understand algebraic from material. The level of development of Android device is getting higher and relatively cheap, being a supporting factor in pushing the use of Android to increase. Almost 1900 of students must already have one or even some have more than one Android. Sadly, the majority of students use Android only for playing games and scrolling social media that can interfere with activities and learning time because it is more focused on using Android for things that are not useful. In addition, to overcome this, and Android with all its convenience is very appropriate to be used as a form of learning media. Research method. The type of research used is research and development. Sugiono explained that research and development is a research method with the aim of producing certain products and testing their effectiveness. Based on this theory, the research and development method will produce a new product or improve existing products. The product produced from this research is called bentuk aljabar, or in English, algebraic form application. This research used the AD research and development model modified by TG. The stakes of the AD model are analysis, design, development, implementation, and evaluation. The research was conducted at SMP Negeri 7 Ambon. The research instruments are observation sheet, interview guidelines, material experts, and media expert validation sheets, teacher response questionnaires, and student response, and also test question. The data collection techniques were carried out by observation, interviews, data from the validation result of material expert and media expert, data from teacher practitioner test, and data from product trials results on students, which are small group trials, large group trials, and also the test. Result and discussion. 1. Analysis. The stake in analyzing student needs, finding out the curriculum use and the media use. After analyzing the needs, there are several problems, namely the lack of student attention to the teacher when explaining the material, the media use is not effective, and not in accordance with the characteristics of student. The media use is still not effective. Students also have difficulty in understanding algebraic from material because the media use has not supported student. This is the next is design. There are 3 states. There are 3 states material. There are three states in design. One is material preparation. The material preparation. Next, product design and instrument drafting. Next, development. One is media creation. This is to create an Android application. It requires constructive software. This is picture Android application development using constructive software. And next, after completing the media creation using constructive software, the product is then exported into an APK file so that it can be tested. If the application made is suitable with the design and the system runs well without errors, it is ready to be validated by expert. This is figure 2 bentuk aljabar application. Okay, next. Expert testing or validation. After the learning media has turned into an Android application APK, file from expert validation is performed. The expert validation consists of material expert and media expert. Based on the results, material expert validation received a perfect score of 97.8%, indicate that the present material is highly feasible. And validation of media experts, based on the result of the media expert validation option, a score of 99%. So it can be input that the media developed is categorized as very feasible. 3. Revision. The developed media is then export into AADB from learning media in the form of Android application and upload to the Google Play Store for testing by practitioner and product trials on students. Research previously wait for a period of 7 days for Google's review before the application was published on the Google Play Store. The application undergoes through scrutiny to ensure that it was legible. Next, implementation.
Excuse me, Mrs. Your time is 2 minutes left.
This is stable practitioner test and product trial. The teacher response result shows a score of 100%. So it can be concluded that the media developed is categories is very feasible to be tested on student. 2. Product trial. Product trial. Yeah. The result of student response conduct in the small group trial shows a score 98.167%. Okay, so you can see this the result. Next, evaluation. The result of student learning tests in large group trials conduct on 30 students. There were 22 students who reached the KKM and 8 people score below the KKM. So the average percentage of students who reached the KKM was 73.33%. Therefore, it can be concluded that the learning media MEd is classified as very feasible because the percentage of students who reach the KKM has exceeded the minimum criteria, which is more than 16.5% of students who must reach the KKM.
Mrs. Sri, I'm sorry, your time is up.
Conclusion, based on the results and discussion.
Mrs. Sri, I'm sorry, your time is up.
Okay, thank you for attention.
Okay, thank you for your presentation. Now we will move to the first discussion session. The discussion session will last for 10 minutes. For the first session, 2 questions were open. For that, if there are any questions, you can type it in the chat column along with the purpose of the question to whom, or you can use the raise hand feature. Just a reminder for participants, don't forget to fill in the attendance list that has been prepared in the chat column. Thank you.
Hello, Miss. I'm sorry, I couldn't turn on my video right now, but I could share my presentation. Is it okay?
It's okay, Mrs.
Okay, I'm so sorry. So I'm Gusti Mawitri from University of Riau. I would like to present the development of an ethnomathematics-based hybrid learning model.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Now we're in discussion session.
Oh, sorry.
Not your time to presentation your material.
Sorry, Miss. Can you repeat?
Now we're on discussion session, so it's
Yeah.
not time to presentate your material. Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
Is there anything you would like to ask? You can raise your hand and tell your question. Okay, if there are no questions and to keeping time, then we will process to the second presentation session consisting of 3 presenters. If later there are questions about the material presented to the speakers in the first session, they can be submitted in the second discussion session. We're going to the next presenter with the title The Implementation of Differentiated Learning in Accordance with the Independent Curriculum by a Mathematics Teacher in the Leading School Program in Bintan Regency by Susanti Marianti Elvi, Nur Asma Riani Siregar, Metaliana, Nur Isati, and Aang Yudo Prastowo from Universitas Maritim Raja Ali Haji. Your time to present is 10 minutes. Time is yours.
Okay, thank you for your attention and opportunity to speak. I want to share my screen. Okay, I want to presentation my article about implementation of the independent curriculum differentiation learning by high school mathematics teacher in driving school in Bintan Regency. Differentiation learning is a cycle of exploring student needs and responding to their learning based on individual difference and dynamics, aligning with their interests, learning preference, and readiness to achieve improved learning outcome. The implementation of differentiation learning, according to Tomlinson, aside in Jatmiko, suggests that teachers should develop teaching strategies that cater to student learning characteristics based on three aspects: content differentiation, process differentiation, and product differentiation. The purpose of this research is to identify and gather information regarding the implementation of differentiation learning in accordance with the independent curriculum at upper secondary level driving school in Bintang Regency. The study aims to explore the extent of teachers' understanding and application of differentiation learning according to the independent curriculum at upper secondary level driving school in Bintang Regency. Maybe you can see a list of the middle level, upper secondary level driving school in Bintang Regency. There is to back to there is 3 SMAN 1 Tuapaya, SMAN 1 Telok Sebong, dan SMAN 1 Bintan Pesisir, and back 3 SMAN 1 Teluk Bintan dan SMAN 2 Bintan Pesisir. The focus of this research is to obtain information on the extent of mathematics teachers' understanding at the upper secondary school of excellence level in Bintang Regency regarding differentiation learning, its implementation, and the challenge faced during in the implementation of differentiation learning at the school. The importance of research is gaining insight into the extent of teachers' understanding. Effort can also be made to seek alternative solutions to the challenge faced by mathematics teachers in implementing differentiation learning. This is done can contribute to the improvement of differentiation learning implementation, ultimately leading to the effective implementation of the independent learning curriculum at the school. Research method. The research method employed in this study is qualitative descriptive. The research subject are mathematics teacher from the upper secondary school of excellence in Bintan Regency, Riau Island Province. However, since the third batch has not yet implemented differentiation learning, the research sample is taken from the second batch, which has already implemented differentiation learning and consists of 4 respondents. Data collection in this research was carried out through the distribution of questionnaire, interview, and observation. Research and discussion. The understanding of mathematics teacher in our secondary level driving school in Bintan Regency regarding differentiation learning. From the distributed questionnaire, all 4 respondents indicated agreement with statement regarding their understanding of the concept and principles of content differentiation in learning. Therefore, interviews were conducted to gain further insight into their understanding of content differentiation in teaching. The result of the interviews revealed that overall content differentiation emphasizes teaching materials tailored to the characteristic and needs of students. This includes adjusting the depth of material and the example provided to students based on their abilities. Educators deliver content to students according to their abilities, categories as low, medium, or high. Regarding the understanding of content differentiation process among the second batch of SMA level teacher from the excellent school, the interview result concluded that many teachers still found it confusing. The first respondent said the content differentiation in process means the learning process conducted in the classroom. 2. Implementation of differential learning in the upper level driving school in Bintang Regency for the subject of mathematics. In its implementation, differential learning has brought many benefit for students. This is because differential learning is based on the needs, interests, characteristics, and level of student abilities. In the implementation of differentiated content and process learning, the third respondent focused on group learning and utilized peer tutor, incorporating games and physical activities into the teaching methods. On the other hand, the fourth respondent provide different teaching material for each meeting tailored to the needs of the student. For example, one day the content is focused on student with an auditory learning style, and the next meeting on kinesthetic or mixed style. And the material are accessible to students through online drives. However, the implementation in differential learning in products has not been fully optimized in the field. 3. Challenge faced by mathematics teacher in implementing differential learning. The implementation of differential learning in school doesn't immediately run smoothly without problem. There is many obstacles and difficulties experienced by teachers in implementing differential learning. Several respondents expressed difficulties in implementing content differentiation learning, both in planning and implementation in the classroom. From the interview conducted, there were several obstacles of difficulties experienced by mathematics teacher when implementing content differentiation
Mrs.
learning.
Santi, just for remind you that your time is 2 minutes left. Thank you.
Okay. Because they don't understand content creation and teacher rarely take part in training, arranging the material also sometimes has problem adapting to student. The next difficulties experience is still not managing time. A lot of time is needed to be able to differentiate the student learning style and abilities, then teacher readiness. Teacher must be ready first to learn and implemented differential learning. The four respondents added that during learning, not everyone was given teaching material due to time constraint. And to guide students according to different abilities also takes a very long time. The conclusion, there is a result show that the level of understanding of teacher regarding differential learning is already good. However, in its implementation, there are many challenges faced by teacher, particularly in terms of time management and planning learning activities that can accommodate all student abilities, interests, and learning style. Therefore, further training is needed to enhance teacher skill and understanding in implementing differential learning in the classroom. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mrs. Susanti, for your presentation. It's very interesting and meaningful. Now we go to the next presenter with the title Development of Animation-Based Beginning Mathematics Learning Media in Early Childhood Education by Niwayan Suwardiati Putri, Inyoman Buddha Hartawan, and Amadeus Veda Kanaka from Institute Bisnis dan Teknologi Indonesia. Your time to present is 10 minutes. Time is yours.
Okay, Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Niwayan Swardiati Putri. I teach at Institut Bisnis dan Teknologi Indonesia. I will try to present part of my article. My article is a development of animated video learning media to improve basic mathematics ability for early childhood education. Okay, children in the age range of 4 until 5 years are at the golden age. Important to introduce mathematics in early childhood education or PAUD. The benefit are early numeracy skill are number A, supporting children with the mathematical thinking needed to be actively involved in their environment. B, providing a platform for children to be able to learn to reason, connecting idea, and thinking logically. C, helping children in observe minutes and find the meaning from their environment with basic problem solving skill and the application of mathematics in everyday life. Sorry. And next, children at the early age still like to play, so learning must be fun. Apart from that, children also need to be introduced to mathematical concept first before being invited to try out physical activities. The introduction of mathematical concept can be done use animated video because they can attract certain attention. Formulation of the problem, this research is how is the development of animation-based basic mathematical learning media in early childhood education, and research purpose to produce basic mathematical learning media based on animation in early childhood education. And the method this research is the development of early mathematics animation video for early childhood using the EDI models. EDI models is analysis, design, development, implementation, and evaluation. And video validity is two expert validator in this field, namely a content validator and an animated video media validator. And video practically is response teacher questionnaire. This show that media can be implemented practically by teacher. The result is 90%. And this is for result animated video. Number 1, video introduction to number. Number B, video introduction the concept of number by grouping object. Number C, video undering object and number. Number D, video grouping object. And conclusion, this research is 4 video were produced that have support mathematical learning activities in early childhood. And the research results saw that the animated video based basic mathematical learning media for PAUD developed in this research can be categorized valid and practice or practical. Validity is reflected in the result of the validator assessment, where the validator state this is good based on the content and media. And practically, it can be seen from the file trial that all teachers can use the media well. That's my presentation. I apologize if there are many shortcomings in English. Sorry, this is my first time attending a conference. Good afternoon and thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Niwayan. Is the presentation enough, Mrs.? Because you still have plenty of time for about 5 minutes?
Enough.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Mrs. Your presentation is very interesting and meaningful. Now we go next to the presenter with the title, Using the Quizzes Application as an Evolution Media for Numeration Literacy-Based Mathematics Learning in MAN to Medan by Suci Dahlia Narpila from UIN Sumatera Utara, Medan. Your time to present is 10 minutes. Time is yours.
Okay, thank you. Let me share screen. Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everybody. The first, I will say thank you for the moderator to give this change for me. And let me introduce myself. I am Suci Dahlia Narpila, and I am from State Islamic University, North Sumatra, Medan. Okay, this article is the result of my research with the title "The Use of the Quizzes Applications as a Numeracy Literacy-Based Mathematics Learning Evaluation Media at MEN2 Medan." And I will explain this article in a few chapters. In the first chapter, introductions, the results, we see that expectation and the reality. Nah, the expectation evaluation process, teachers are expected to use innovative, effective, and efficient digital-based technology to improve student learning outcomes, including in the learning evaluation process. But in the reality, the teachers still carry out the assessment process in a manual way, using paper. They don't utilize technology or the internet. The assessment system commonly used by teacher is also monotone, typically involving tests with a set of questions that the student must complete within a specific time frame. And then in the literacy numeracy aspect, expectation with the strong numeracy literacy skills, students and can effectively and efficiently solve various mathematical problems in their daily lives. Therefore, the government hopes the school can facilitate the development of student numeracy literacy skills to the better. But in the reality, student numeracy literacy skills are still low. For instance, when researchers conducted a numeracy literacy test trial at MEN2 Medan, out of 35 students who took the test, only 28.5% of them were able to solve it correctly. And there is a gap. So for this reason, teachers and students need to get used to practicing solving numeracy literacy problem so that they can improve student numeracy literacy skill. During the practice process, it would be better use interactive game-based application like quizzes. And I will take the research with the title "Use the Quizzes Application as a Numeracy Literacy-Based Mathematics Learning Evaluation Media at MEN2 Medan." The chapter 2 is method. The design of this research is a quantitative descriptive study with the purpose describe the interest and concentration of students in solving numeracy literacy-based problem using the quizzes application. And the location is MEN2 Medan, and participant consists of 38 students of class 11 F1F in the academic year 2023/2024, and a research instrument consists of observation sheets, student response questionnaires, and interview guide sheets. And about analysis data, consists of data from observation, questionnaires, and interviews, will undergo data reduction so that the researcher can obtain the necessary information. And the students' response questionnaires will be analyzed quantitatively. And next chapters is a result and discussion. The first result of the observation of questions of quizzes application usage. During the exam using the quizzes application, it was evident that both of the teacher, student didn't encounter significant difficulties. Poor internet quality could be addressed by switching hotspots during the exam. The exam atmosphere was also conducive, with students focusing on their respective question, and the teacher could obtain exam result without need for manual result compilation, making the process smoother. Next, the result of student response questionnaires. The results are shown in table in the side. The table shows the percentage score of the student response questionnaire result is at 72.1%. It can be stated the students' interest in using the quizzes application as a media for evaluating mathematics learning is good. And next, the result of student response questionnaires. The results are shown in the table. The table shows the percentage score of the student response questionnaire result is at 70.6%. It can be stated that the student concentration in using the quizzes application as a media for evaluating mathematics learning is good. And the result of student interviews. Using the quizzes application as a media for evaluating learning has made students more attentive when engaging with learning materials. Student feels that they are more diligent in paying attention to the teacher explanation before tackling the question in the quizzes application because they want to achieve the best possible result. In fact, even students who used to be frequently unfocused during lesson now pay attention to every explanation provided by the teacher. And the last chapter, based on the data and discussion provided earlier, it can be concluded that the use of the quizzes application is able to foster the interest and concentration of grade 11 students at Mansu Medan. Future researchers can utilize the quizzes application not only as a learning evaluation tool, but also as an interactive learning media. Okay, I think enough for my presentation. Thank you for your attention. I'm sorry about my mistake and see you next time. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Suchi. Your presentation is very interesting and meaningful. Okay, everyone, we already had listened our three presenters with their own topic. Now we move to the second discussion session. Same with before, the discussion session will last for 10 minutes. For the second session, the questions were open. For that, if there are any question, you can type it in the chat column along with the purpose of the question to whom, or you can use the raise hand feature. Just a reminder for participants, don't forget to fill in the attendance list that has been prepared in the chat column. Thank you. Bagi Bapak Ibu mungkin bisa memberikan pertanyaannya dalam bahasa Indonesia, tidak apa-apa. Was what was explained by three presenters of the second session is clear? If there is anything that's not clear, please submit a question. Is everything clear? Okay, if it's clear, let's move to the third session with the first presenter with the title Implementation of Problem-Based Learning Assisted with the GeoGebra Application to Improve Students' Mathematical Creative Thinking by Vina Luciana from Universitas Wanita International. Your time to present is 10 minutes. Time is yours.
Thank you. I want to share screen first. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, I present my journal about its implementation of problem-based learning assist with the GeoGebra application to improve student mathematical creative thinking. My name is Vina Luciana. I'm from Universitas Wanita International in Bandung. Based on this journal is the problem of student in learning mathematics is the low literacy skills of the participant in translating mathematical problems in the form of text into mathematical symbols. Sometimes students do not understand what the reading text means. This is caused by several factors, including related to the learning strategy implemented by teachers and media using is not appropriate for the material presented, so that student mathematical thinking skills are not well developed. Then the learning that has been carried so far is monotonous and not optimal. I'm sorry. Not optimal, so that student mastery of the concept of the sum material is also not optimal, and student cannot think mathematically when dealing with contextual problems. In addition, the use of conventional learning models cause learning to be less meaningful because students only rely on the teacher explanation regarding the material without any involvement is discovering the concept to be studied. Coupled with the lack of exploration of innovative media in learning mathematics, the understanding of student mathematics thinking concept is the material system of linear equation and inequality equation is low. So based on this problem, I conducted a study entitled The Application of Problem-Based Learning Assisted by GeoGebra Application to Improve Student Mathematical Thinking in the Matter of System of Inequalities Word Problems. The material study in the study is application of system inequality word problem, so that is the it is clear that student mathematical thinking ability is translating contextual problem into mathematical models are clearly visible. Through the use of the problem-based learning models, it is hoped that students can solve the system of inequality word problems by applying GeoGebra in solving the set area, so that mathematical thinking's concept is studying system of inequality word problem become easy and well observed. This is a research method. This research was conducted in class 10 SMA Islam Nurul Fikri Boarding School Lembang. The subject in this study were student class 10-3 and 10-4 SMA Islam Nurul Fikri Boarding School with a total 45 female students, not male, only female students. The approach taken by research in this study used a quantitative approach. In this study, research used a control group pretest and post-test design. Control group pretest and post-test design study using two classes, that is control class and experimental class. After learning process taking place, a final test is given to see the progress obtained. This is the table of research design when have two class, experiment class and control class. Okay, next. The technique used to collect data in the research is test. The test was carried out twice, namely the pre-test and post-test of each student in form of an essay. The data processed from this are data from the pre-test result and post-test result obtained from two class below us. First is a data comparison of learning outcome in experiment class and control class. We use normality test, homogeneity test, and two-mean similarity test. And then data on student mathematical thinking ability. The test result all score according to the scoring rubric from student creative thinking abilities. Then the score of all students in each aspect are added up and the percentage is chosen. This is score as presentation. Category thinking not mathematically, thinking less mathematically, thinking enough mathematically, thinking mathematically, and thinking very mathematically. This the result. Before I read the result, I go to the table. This is the table when a pretest. The test of normality is significant is 0.101 and 0.257. Okay, I back. Now, the first normality test based on the output of the pretest normality test for experiments and control class using a superior work test, the respective significance value were 1.101 and 1.256. The significant value is more than, okay, I'm going to tell more than 0.333. So it's more than 0.05 based on the hypothesis decision-making criteria. Each O is accepted. So in other words, it can be concluded that distribution of data for the experiment class and control class is normally distributed. Second is homogeneity variance test. The significant value is 0.333, which indicates that the significant value is more than 0.05. So it can be concluded that variance of the pretest score of the two groups is homogeneous. And then for result, the post-test data, I go to table first. The table is test normality test is 0.081 and 0.167. Based on the output of the post-test normality test, the experiment and control class using the superior test, the respective significant value are 0.081 and 0.167, the significant value is more than 0.05 based on the hypothesizing criteria. It's O is accepted. See, so this data is normally distributed. And then for homogeneous variant test, the significance value is 0.048.
Excuse me, Mrs. Vina.
Yes.
Your time is 2 minutes left. Thank you.
Okay. So thank you for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Mrs., you have around 1 minute. Don't you want to continue your presentation? Is it enough? Mrs. Vina?
No, not enough.
Okay, your
I can
time is around 1 minute.
I can hear your voice clearly, Miss.
Okay, your time is around 1 minute. Can you continue your presentation? It's okay.
Okay, see. I share screen again. Okay, by the results is the result is hypothesis testing. The value is 0.0025 is less than 0.05. So based on the decision making criteria, it's rejected. This can be concluded that student mathematics thinker skill to using GeoGebra assist problem PBL model are higher than more than mathematical thinking ability using the PBL model without GeoGebra assistant and the system of inequalities were problem. Okay, and the conclusion. Okay. The result of the test conduct of the beginning of the meeting show that the pretest average score for student mathematics thinking in the experimental class and the control class were not significantly different. And the second, after treat to class by applying the GeoGebra assist and PBL model in the experiment class and the problem-based without the PBL with that without a GeoGebra assist in control class, students are giving a post-test an increase in mathematical thinking skills in both class. And then the last is from the research of the data analysis.
I'm sorry, your time is up.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, your time is up.
Okay. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you for your presentation. It's so interesting and meaningful. Now we move to the next presenter with the title Using GeoGebra Classroom to Learn Mathematics by Teresia Lawrence, Wilminche Mataheru, and John N. Lekito from Universitas Patimura. Your time to present is 10 minutes. Time is yours.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity given to us to present our research with the title Using GeoGebra Classroom to Learning Mathematics. Let me introduce my research team. First writer is Professor Dr. Tia Lawrence MPD. The second until fourth writer, respectively, Professor Dr. W. Materu MPD, John N. Likito SPD MPD, M. Inwan SPD MSC. Part of our presentation is 1. Introduction to method, 3. Result and discussion, and 4. Conclusion. First, introduction. 21st century mathematics learning provides opportunity for students to be actively involved in learning using mathematics software. Yang next, bahwa GeoGebra Classroom provides more interaction learner experiment. However, in observation and interview conducted by research with teacher and student at SMP Negeri 9 Ambon, it was discovered that the GeoGebra classroom feature had never been used in the mathematics learning process. Even though this use of GeoGebra classroom could increase student interest and learning outcome. On the other hand, the result of interview with students found that one of the materials was difficult to understand for geometry. Based on the fact is could be seen that the mathematics learning process in the classroom, there was not use of GeoGebra classroom that is at GeoGebra future. So this research was carried out that now the picture of learning in the school with GeoGebra, but also to find out the effect of using GeoGebra in mathematics learnings of geometric material, especially to material. The purpose of the study describe the use of GeoGebra classroom and now the impact of its use is in mathematics learning. Method design, the type of research was experimental research. The design of the research was the post-test only group. Population ensemble, the population study was all students in class 9 of SMP Negeri 9 Ambon, and the sample is in this study was student in class 9, 7 and class 9-14 at totaling 29 students. Data analysis techniques, the data analysis used in the research consists of descriptive data analysis technique that describe the use of GeoGebra classroom in mathematics learning and quantitative data analysis technique used in analysis student learning outcome. This research quantitative data analysis technique behind by classifying students' learning outcome using the benchmark assessment. Result, the learning is class was carried out in four meeting with the addition of one session for the student final test. In the experiment category, each forum use the GeoGebra classroom. Within the control class, at meeting did not use the GeoGebra classroom. The student board in the GeoGebra classroom could be seen in figure 1. In figure 1, several student activities were shown in learning using the GeoGebra classroom. In the case, the teacher could see every student activity from their computer device. Figure 2, student activity in finding the formula for the part of the cylinder. In the student activity of drawing two, students were given instruction freeze through the two drawing instruction profit in the student worksheet designed in the GeoGebra classroom. Figure 3, student activity in finding the formula for the spread of the cylinder. So it could be seen that in GeoGebra classroom that were not only at GeoGebra display, but instruction could be made in the form of comment sentence for drawing object in the GeoGebra classroom. Figure 4 student activities in finding the formula for the volume of cylinder. In figure 4, namely the student activity in finding the formula for the volume of cylinder, the teacher designed an experiment on the importance of the cylinder by providing opportunities for students to increase the radius and height of the cylinder. So that through several equations provided by the teacher in the GeoGebra classroom, students could find the volume of the cylinder. Table 3 is classification benchmark of the student. Table 4, average student linear outcomes. Table 4 is normality test result. Table 6, homogeneous test result. Table 7 is the text result. Conclusion, from the result of discussion above, it could be concluded that using at GeoGebra classroom in the mathematics learning positive impact student learning outcomes compared to knowledge that did not use at GeoGebra classroom. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. John. Your presentation is interesting and meaningful. Now we move to the next presenter with the title Development of an Ethnomathematics-based Hybrid Learning Model with Heterogeneity and Cybergeology Approaches by Muhammad Vendrik Setra Hainul Putra, Sariul Antosa, Gusti Mawitri, and Rahmat Rizal Andi from Universitas Riau. Your time to present is 10 minutes. Time is yours.
Thank you, Miss. So I would like to share my screen. Okay, I'm Gusti Mawitri from University of Riau. Would like to present a development of an mathematics-based hybrid learning model with pedagogy and cybergogy approaches. In the introduction, we discuss about the use of hybrid learning models in education that give impacts on improving and understanding students' mathematical concepts, teachers' technology pedagogy, content knowledge, and computational thinking skills and student perceptions. Ethnomathematics as one of innovation issue in mathematics learning can be taught using hybrid learning model. And the pedagogy and cybergogy approaches utilized in hybrid learning model based on ethnomathematics is expected to provide real opportunities to carry out learning that is directed independently by students, including learning through collaborative models and learning through communities. For the method, Plum development model through 3 phases was used: preliminary research phase, development or prototyping phase, and assessment phase. The object of the research is the artifacts in the Siak Sri Indrapura Palace, Siak Regency, Riau Province, Indonesia. As the population, there are prospective elementary teachers from 3 elementary teacher education study programs in Riau Province. For the samples, there were 38 fifth semesters of prospective elementary teachers from University of Riau took the mathematics learning development course in elementary school. The data were collected through observation and questionnaires and were analyzed through quantitative and qualitative data. For the results of the study are presented based on research and development stages that have been carried out on an ethnomathematics-based hybrid learning model with pedagogy and cyberpedagogy approaches for students. We present them in the following subsections. The first one, preliminary research phase. The analysis activities carried out in this phase consist of need analysis, curriculum analysis, concept analysis, and student analysis. The second one is the development of prototyping phase. At this stage, the process of designing and developing a learning model is carried out in the form of an ethnomathematics-based hybrid learning model. The material and appearance that will be published on the website are determined at the prototype design stage. The final result of the prototype phase is prototype 1. After that, prototype 1 will enter the formative evaluation stage, which is carried out through the stages of self-evaluation, expert review, one-to-one evaluation, and small group evaluation to obtain feedback from experts. The self-evaluation process, also known as prototype 2, was carried out by researchers during the development of the learning model. After the hybrid learning model product was developed by researchers in prototype 2, product validation was then carried out. This validation was carried out to obtain feedback from experts as material for revising prototype 2 before use and producing prototype 3. The instrument used to validate the ethnomathematics-based hybrid learning model is in the form of a product feasibility assessment. As it can be seen in the table 1, phase 1 product validation results, this data show that from the 3 assessment aspects, they all meet the feasible category. It states that the material presented in the ethnomathematics-based hybrid learning model product is in accordance with the procedures and materials that must be studied by students and is able to support the achievement of learning objectives with the flexibility of the material presented in the learning model. In these 4 aspects, it is stated that the hybrid learning model based on ethnomathematics can provide convenience for users, which is supported by the neatness of the material, free of errors in typing, the use of button, writing, colors, images, and screens, which is the main attraction of the learning model. In language aspects, the ethnomathematics-based hybrid learning model is appropriate in selecting the language used in the learning model. For the table 2, results of phase 2 product validation analysis, based on this data, it can be concluded that there has been an increase in scores in all aspects of the assessment. The results of the assessment of the ethnomathematics-based hybrid learning model, which has been validated twice, are very feasible, which means it can be used for the next stage, namely testing. The third phase is assessment phase. The aim of the assessment phase is to assess the level of validity and practicality of ethnomathematics-based hybrid learning model products through a trial process. A small group trial was carried out to see the level of practicality of the hybrid learning model product based on ethnomathematics, the geometry recognition material being developed. Apart from students, lecturers are also involved in assessing the products being developed. Small group trials were carried out on 9 students and 3 lecturers by distributing questionnaires. For the table 3, the results of practical analysis by lecturers, and the table 4, results of practical analysis by students, that shows that the 2 table shows that hybrid learning model based on mathematics in introductory geometry, very practical, with an overall average score of 90.69%, which means the learning model can be used by students and lecturers. The last one, the conclusion stage. This study aims to produce a valid and practical product for developing a hybrid learning model based on ethnomathematics with pedagogy and cyberpedagogy approaches. Based on the validation results of the ethnomathematics-based hybrid learning model developed, the ICMMEd validity index was 0.88 with a very valid category. The aspects that are validated are material aspects, display aspects, and language aspects, which contain the three indicators in it. Meanwhile, the practicality of the ethnomathematics-based hybrid learning model, based on the lecturer practicality questionnaire data obtained, an average percentage score of 92.02% in the very practical category. Likewise, based on the student practicality questionnaire, the average percentage score was 89.35% in the very practical category. Based on the result of this study, it can be concluded that the ethnomathematics-based hybrid learning model with heutagogy and cybergogy approaches has fulfilled the validity and practicality criteria, so that this product can be used by lecturers and students in mathematics learning development courses. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Witri, for your presentation. Because the second presenter in the first session was not present, the presentation session that we originally had 4 were changed to 3 sessions. For this reason, the last presenter with the title Employee Performance Appraisal Using Fuzzy Logic Mamdani Rules by Susana Labeum from Universitas Patimura.
Okay,
So
thank you.
to
Thank you.
present is 10
Yes.
minutes. Time is yours.
Okay, thank you, moderator. Excuse me. Does my voice sound is clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity given to me, moderator. I am Susana Labuem. I'm from Patimura University. Now I will present the result of my research. I want to share screen. Excuse me, moderator, whether my paper is visible on the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, now I will present the result of my research about employing performance appraisal using the fuzzy logic Mamdani rules assisted by MATLAB. The first is introduction. One of the potential factor in providing a competitive advantage for the agency or institution is the human resource factor, and one of its activities is performance appraisal. One of the potential factor is in providing a competitive advantage for an agency or institution is the human resource factor, and one of its activities is performance. The purpose of performance appraisal is to improve agency performance through improving the performance of agency or organization human resource. Next. Ladies and gentlemen, at PSDKU Patimura University in Aru Islands, Regens, performance appraisal of employees are usually carried out by employees who are authorized to private an assessment of the workforce considered. In this study, there are 3 aspects that become elements of assessment, namely work quality, the first. The second is work quantity, and the last is timelines. The next is method in this my research. This research is a survey research, data collection from respondents using questionnaire and interview sheets. This research was considered at PSDKU Patimura University in Aru Islands for 30 educational staff employees. The next result and discussion. Ladies and gentlemen, this is structure system fasi SISO. SISO is single input, single output. Jadi Bapak Ibu sekalian, untuk penelitian ini saya menggunakan pendekatan fasi logik dengan spesifiknya adalah fasi SISO, di mana fasi SISO ini dia terdiri dari beberapa elemen. Yang pertama kita harus mendefinisikan dulu inputnya itu apa. Setelah kita tentukan, kemudian kita masuk di tahapan yang berikut namanya fasifikasi. Setelah kita melakukan fasifikasi, kemudian yang berikut kita akan lakukan interferensi sistem. Kemudian masuk di tahap berikut adalah defasifikasi, kemudian kita akan menghasilkan yang namanya CRIP output. Itu adalah pendekatan FISO-SISO yang saya gunakan dalam penelitian ini. Next. Ini ada penjelasan dari masing-masing elemen terkait dengan fasi SISO yang tadi saya jelaskan di awal. Di sini sengaja saya sajikan dalam bahasa Indonesia untuk lebih membuatnya menjadi lebih jelas terkait dengan masing-masing tahapan yang saya sebutkan yang digunakan dalam fasi logik, khusus untuk fasi SISO. The next, linguistic variable. The fuzzy variable, input variable in this study consists, the first is work quality value, the second is work quantity value, and timelines value, with the universe of speeds 0 for 100. And output variables, namely the result of employee performance assessment, which will be grouped into 3 categories, namely is good, the first is good, the second moderate, and the last is less. Next, this is fuzzy variable and fuzzy sets domains. Jadi kita punya 3 variabel input. Yang pertama itu untuk menilai kinerja pegawai ini, variabel input yang pertama adalah quality of work. Kemudian the second variable is work quantity, and the last variable input is timelines. Universalsnya from 0 to 100. Kemudian untuk fuzzy set domainnya, the first is low, dari 0 sampai 40, kemudian untuk set domain medium itu dari 30 sampai 70, kemudian untuk high itu from 60 to 100. The next, untuk variabel fuzzy yang kedua, variabel input yang kedua, sama juga dia punya himpunan semesta dari 0 sampai 100 with fuzzy domain for low, medium, and high in the table. The next, this is the rule base for employee performance appraisal. Terdapat 27 rule base yang digunakan dalam penelitian ini karena terdapat 3 variable input and 3 variable output. And then we have 27 rule based to employee performance appraisal with description seperti yang ada di bawah ini. Ladies and gentlemen, next for classification untuk input variable, the set of fuzzy input and output variables in the cited and the figure 1 below and the membership degree function of the input variable, work quality, work quantity, and times accuracy, and the output variables performance value. This is the input variables, this is the output variables, and then this is employee performance appraisal. Next, the first, This is variable yang ini. This is variable for word quality. Have three linguistic attribute, namely low, medium, and high. Ladies and gentlemen, to represent low fuzzy set, the left shoulder membership degree
Excuse me,
function.
Mrs.
Yes.
Time is 2 minutes left. Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, to represent low fuzzy set, the left shoulder membership degree function is used, and for high fuzzy sets, and the right shoulder membership degree function is used. To represent medium fuzzy sets, triangular and trapezium membership degree function are used. The following is representation of the function and graph for the each input variable on the right. The second variable, word quantity, and the last variable have linguistic attribute, namely medium and high for the second variable input. And then for output variable is employee performance. The next, this is the output variables. And this is the graph to variable output variable. This is the case example. Jadi di sini saya ambil satu pegawai, satu staff, kemudian saya ambil nilainya untuk yang kualitas kerjanya, kuantitas kerja, sama timelines-nya. Kemudian saya olah dengan menggunakan fuzzy SISO, pakai aturan Mamdani dengan berbantuan MATLAB. Kemudian ketemu hasilnya itu adalah yang bersangkutan itu memiliki kinerja good kategori, masuk dalam kategori good, with the question value is 91.
Ma'am, excuse me, your time is up.
Okay.
Thank you for your.
Thank you. There are the result of my research. More or less, I apologize. Thank you for your attention, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. Thank you, moderator.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Susana. Now we move to the last discussion session. The discussion session will last for 10 minutes. For that, if there are any question, you can type it in the chat column with the purpose of the question to whom, or you can use the raise hand feature. Just a reminder for participants, don't forget to fill in the attendance list that has been prepared in the chat column. Thank you. Is there anything else you would like to ask for the first speaker to the last speaker? Bapak Ibu mungkin bisa mengajukan pertanyaan dalam bahasa Indonesia.
Nggak usah bukan nggak kan diingat kata tanya. Iya, saudari moderator, bolehkah saya mengajukan pertanyaan untuk materi pertama atas nama Ibu Vina Luciana dari Universitas Wanita Internasional.
Iya, bisa.
Ya, pertanyaan saya.
terkait dengan GeoGebra yang dipakai untuk materi sistem persamaan linear gitu ya. Bolehkah Ibu menjelaskan bahwa kegunaan dari GeoGebra itu hanya sebatas menggambar sistem persamaan linear pada bidang dimensi 2 ataukah seperti apa gitu? Apakah ketika GeoGebra dipakai untuk menggambar sistem persamaan linear 2 variabel di bidang dimensi 2 itu sudah membuat siswa itu paham terkait dengan bagaimana menyelesaikannya. Kan kita hanya menampilkan grafiknya, tapi kita tidak menunjukkan penyelesaiannya di grafik tersebut. Kita hanya menunjukkan bahwa ada 3 kemungkinan. Nah, ini saya mau tanya terkait dengan penggunaan GeoGebra yang dipakai oleh Ibu, apakah hanya sebatas menampilkan grafik ataukah seperti apa Ibu? Terima kasih, saya kembalikan kepada moderator.
Ya, untuk Ibu Vina, apakah mengerti apa yang ditanyakan oleh Pak John? Halo Ibu Vina, apakah bisa mendengar suara saya? Pak John, apakah bisa mendengar suara saya?
Dengar.
Ibu Vina, apakah bisa mengerti apa yang ditanyakan oleh Pak John? Ibu Vina, mohon maaf, apakah mengerti pertanyaan yang diajukan Pak John?
Sorry, boleh ulang, Mbak? Maaf, tadi ngobrol dengan anak dulu. Bentar, bentar.
Tadi ada pertanyaan yang disampaikan oleh Pak John untuk Ibu terkait artikelnya Ibu. Apakah Ibu bisa paham pertanyaan yang diberikan?
Boleh ulang?
Atau boleh,
Boleh,
oke, Pak John mohon untuk mengulangi pertanyaannya, Pak.
Ya, terima kasih Saudari Moderator. Pertanyaan saya untuk Ibu Vina, mungkin bisa menjelaskan bahwa kegunaan GeoGebra dalam proses pembelajaran itu seperti apa, Ibu? Apa yang ditampilkan dalam proses pembelajaran itu, Ibu, terkait dengan materi yang Ibu ajarkan, misalnya sistem persamaan dan pendaksamaannya. Ya.
Baik, terima kasih Pak. Kebetulan penelitian kita hampir mirip ya, tapi mungkin beda materi. Nah, kebetulan kemarin itu saya itu compare sebenarnya beberapa aplikasi termasuk Desmos, tapi karena anak-anak kesulitan maka saya menggunakan aplikasi GeoGebra. Nah, sebenarnya penggunaan aplikasi GeoGebra aja hanya memastikan aja bahwa hasil yang mereka diberikan like worksheet ya, tugas untuk mengerjakan soalnya. Jadi mereka tuh suka masih salah Pak ketika menentukan daerah himpunan penyelesaian. Ini boleh pakai bahasa Indonesia menjawabnya?
Iya, boleh, Bu.
Oh, boleh. Mereka itu kesulitan menentukan daerah penyelesaian persamaan pertidaksamaan linear 2 variabel. Kalau untuk memodelkan awalnya, kalau untuk memodelkan dari masalah kontekstual itu sudah mulai bisa, kemudian bermasalahnya lagi pas menentukan daerah himpunannya. Maka saya gunakan aplikasi GeoGebra di sana, dan aplikasi itu sangat membantu, Pak. Membantu banget untuk mereka menentukan daerah penyelesaian himpunan yang mereka tentukan. Gitu, Pak.
Terima kasih, Ibu.
Sama-sama, Pak.
Oke, Pak John, saya rasa sudah puas dengan jawaban yang diberikan oleh Ibu Vina. Is there anything else you would like to ask? Maybe I want to give a question for you, Mr. John.
Yes.
Can GeoGebra Classroom only be used in geometry learning, or is there something else? Can you give me the explanation of that? Thank you.
Okay, moderator, may I answer your question? Because I'm the friend of John. Okay, GeoGebra is not only used to explain the geometric material, but the main principle of GeoGebra is interpretation mathematical form to geometry. We can explain the algebra material, explain about integral, explain about polynomial in GeoGebra. But this is the main function of GeoGebra is to show, to figure out the form, mathematical form of, to figure out the geometric form of mathematical form. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Michael, for your explanation. It's very clearly, and I got your point. Thank you. Is there anything else you would like to ask for all the participants? Is everything is clear for you? Okay, I want to reminder for participants, don't forget to fill in the attendance list that has been prepared in the chat column. Thank you. Okay, as there were no more questions given, the discussion session ended. Ladies and gentlemen, our session in Para room is over. Don't forget to return to the main room and follow the closing ceremony. Thank you for your participation. Special thanks for the presenters who have been willing to present their topic well. For e-certificate will be informed in WhatsApp group and email. Forgive me if there are some mistakes during the session. Hope you all have a good day and goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you. See you.
Thank you, Miss.